Your Excellency, Dr. Yasmin Fouad, the Minister of Environment. Your Excellency, Dr. Hani Swalem, the Minister of Water Resources and Irrigation. Dr. Ihab Abdulrahman, the Provost of the American University in Cairo. Dr. Salah Haggar, Energy and Sustainable Development Professor at the School of Engineering Mechanical Department. السادة الحضور, to our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome. Please let us start our day today with the national anthem. السادة الحضور, النشيد الوطني لجمهورية مصر العربية. Thank you. We are honored today to have you with us at the opening of the Net Zero International Conference. My name is Yasmin Mansour. I am the AUC Sustainability Director. Please welcome with me Dr. Salah Al-Haggar, Professor of Energy and Sustainable Development at the American University in Cairo, President of Egypt Green Building Council, and the conference president for his opening keynote. Dr. Salah.
صباح الخير جميعا. أصحاب السعادة، الضيوف الكرام، السيدات والسادة، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. تتشرف الجمعية المصرية للأبنية والمجتمعات الخضراء والجامعة الأمريكية بالقاهرة والمجلس العالمي للأبنية الخضراء بوجود سيادتكم في الجلسة الافتتاحية للمؤتمر الدولي لصفرية الانبعاثات. Your Excellency, Dr. Yasmin Fouad, Minister of Environment, Your Excellency, Dr. Hani Swalem, Minister of Irrigation and Water Resources, Dr. Ihab Abdulrahman, AUC Provost and Acting President of AUC, Dr. Lutfi Gafar, Dean of the School of Sciences and Engineering. Esteemed and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the American University in Cairo. I would like to thank you everyone here today for being part of this first international Net Zero Conference, organized by the American University in Cairo, in cooperation with Egypt Green Building Council and the World Green Building Council. It is a tremendous honor to have this conference under the auspices of His Excellency, Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, as well as supported by Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Social Solidarity, Ministry of Irrigation and Water Resources, Ministry of Planning and Economic Development. I would like to extend my thanks to the conference sponsors, Saint-Gobain, Egypt, Diamond sponsor, thank you Saint-Gobain, A-Cube and Company, Platinum sponsor, thank you A-Cube and Company, Innova, Bronze sponsor, thank you Innova, AGC, Obican Glass, bronze sponsor, Circles, bronze sponsor, Coca-Cola Egypt sponsor. I would like to thank all of you for sponsoring such event. I would also like to offer great thanks to all those who have been involved in organizing this event. What we see today is a testament to their hard work. Also, I would like to extend my thanks to the moderators, speakers, panelists who has generously accepted to take part of this event. أصحاب السعادة، السيدات والسادة، يهدف هذا المؤتمر إلى مناقشة التحديات واستكشاف الفرص لتمهيد الطريق نحو مستقبل أفضل لنا والأجيال القادمة، الذي يهدف إلى تحسين نوعية الحياة والرفاهية والحفاظ على الموارد الطبيعية والبيئية وتحسين استخدام الموارد والعمل من أجل مستقبل مرن ضد تغير المناخ. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the Net Zero International Conference will allow us to debate the challenges and explore opportunities to pave the way toward a better future for us and for generations to come. This aims to enhance quality of life, well-being, preserve natural resources and ecology, optimize resource utilization, and work for a resilient future to combat climate change. It is time to act to net zero. Let me give you a brief idea about who is Egypt GBC, who is the main organizer of this event, as well as the objective of the conference and the expected outcomes of this conference. Now, the objective of this conference is the objective of this conference is to explore opportunities and debate the challenges and transfer experience and knowledge to help pave the way toward a net zero future. And of course, in the third day, you will know the difference between zero and net zero. There is a big difference between the two expressions, but I always prefer to call it net zero. Now, why net zero? Egypt has adapted an approach towards achieving sustainable development that's characterized by high level of ambition, firm commitment, and dynamic innovation. And dynamic innovation is the key issue behind the success of the net zero. The aim is to discuss the challenges and implement innovative solutions that can contribute to achieve Egypt Vision 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals of 2030. Now, this will, again, why net zero? This will help Egypt pave the way toward a sustainable future as stated by His Excellency Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in the open session of COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh last year. He said, now it is the time for action and implementation. There is no room to retreat or use the challenges as pretext to satisfy that. Missing the opportunity means squandering the legacy of future generations, our children and grandchildren. As COP27 is approaching, it is time to act to net zero. Just to give you why built environment? First of all, who is the contributor to climate change? We mainly have three major contributors. The top contributor is the building sector. Unfortunately, building sector before COP27 contribute with 39% of the greenhouse gases. In COP27, the World Green Building Council declared, and the contribution of the building sector now go up to 41%. The second contributor to the climate change or greenhouse gases, it is the transportation sector. Unfortunately, everybody talk about industry, but the industry has the lowest contribution to climate change. But building sector has a major contribution. Also, building sector generate about 30% of the waste water and also generate about 40% of the solid waste. Now, why green communities and green buildings and green cities? The main idea behind green buildings or green communities or green cities is to save water, energy, and materials, as well as improving the indoor environmental quality and outdoor environmental quality, as well as reducing the greenhouse gases. And this will accelerate the implementation of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. As stated by the World Green Building Council, the green communities or green buildings will accelerate 9 out of 17 of the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, in 2012, we established Egypt Green Building Council under the umbrella of Ministry of Social Solidarity. And of course, it's a member of the World Green Building Council. We are representing Egypt in the World Green Building Council, where under the umbrella of World Green Building Council, there is 77 Green Building Council all over the world. We are one of them. And the main idea behind the Egypt Green Building Council is to develop some kind of a rating system which has a specific criteria, as you'll see it in a minute. But the mission of EgyptDC is to create a momentum towards sustainability and green buildings in Egypt by cooperating with the construction community to shift professional practices and raise public awareness. Egypt Green Building Council aspires to benefit the Egyptian society from the environmental, social, and economical savings of all our resources, energy, water, and materials, as well as reducing the greenhouse gases and improve indoor environmental quality and outdoor environmental quality. Now, when we try to think about Tarshid rating system for Egypt, we have a certain criteria. We have 6 criteria for the Tarshid rating system. First, it has to be simple, practical, straightforward, innovative, and the most important criteria is cost-effective. And at the end, very easy to understand. And that is what we mean by Tarshid. Of course, to do that, we have to survey all the rating systems in the MENA region, which is almost about 10 rating systems in the MENA region at that time. Probably today, it's more than that. Now, the Tarshid rating system is based on energy, water, and habitat. Habitat, all items other than energy and water. Now, in 2014, we released the first Tarshid rating system for affordable buildings, which has a minimum savings of water, energy, and materials by 20%. And of course, this was published, and the book is available in the bookstores in the Egyptian market in 2015. And this is mainly for new buildings. And then in 2018, because again, in 2015, I published a book about net zero. And therefore, through the board meeting, we decided to have a rating system based on the net zero concept. And therefore, in 2018, we released the Tarshid communities for existing communities and new communities. Of course, the challenge is to convert the existing community into green community. And then one of the prerequisites, the Tarshid rating system is based on 2 major items, prerequisites and the credits. Prerequisite is mandatory. It gives you some kind of vision for the future. But credit, it's just try to collect as much as you can based on your budget, and then select the category you are going to target. And therefore, in one of the prerequisites, you have to have one building green, and regardless of the level of this green. And therefore, in that time, we have only Tarshid affordable building, which is not based on the net zero. And therefore, we decided in 2018 to have another rating system based on the net zero concept. And in 2019, we released the Tarshid for schools, for new schools and existing schools, based on the 4 levels, which is platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. And in 2020, we released Tarshid Commercial, but Tarshid Commercial, we have it for existing buildings and new building. But how about if you are, planning to have an apartment within a non-green building? Then, in that time, we already included, Tarshid interior construction, where you can have the apartment or the floor as green, and the whole building is not green. And then, in 2020, we released Tarshid Residential for new and existing buildings. And inshallah, in 2024, we are going to release the Tarshid healthcare facilities for new healthcare facilities and existing healthcare facilities. In 2022, Ministry of Social Solidarity, they requested to have a Tarshid rating system, but very simple and not cost-effective, cost almost nothing. And we released, Tarshid Haya Karima, which is based on silver and gold, which the total cost of Tarshid, or the extra cost of Tarshid Haya Karima, will be around 40 to 50,000 pounds, extra cost. And then just a few months ago, we released Tarshid Net Zero certificate. And this is one of the very important certificates, which will be, inshallah, announced in the 3rd day in this conference. This is the certification levels, where we have 4 levels for certification. Now, just to give you an idea about the Net Zero International Conference, inshallah, the first day, which is today, we have keynote speakers by our distinguished ministers, and then we will have a session about initiatives to pave the way toward net zero. And this initiative, by the way, or this sessions, it is based, the design of the session is to have speakers and then a panel discussion where the speakers will be involved with the panel discussion through a moderator to interact some kind of questions, and also receive some questions from the audience. That's for all panel discussion or all the sessions in this conference. And then tomorrow we will have keynote speeches, and we will have 3 sessions. One of them it's related to net zero solid waste, another one related to net zero wastewater, and the third one about net zero and decarbonization in industry. Again, all the cases presented in this conference are real case studies, right? Real case studies implemented in Egypt or implemented somewhere else, and we try to transfer the technology here in Egypt. 80% implemented in Egypt, and 20% just we try to transfer the technology from outside to Egypt. In the third day, we will have keynote speeches followed by 4 sessions. The first session, paving the way to decarbonization. The second session on the third day, sustainable communities and sustainable buildings, again, case studies. And then session 7 is the announcement of Tarshid Net Zero Certificate and announcement of the first compound worldwide received Tarshid Net Zero Certificate. Because again, worldwide, we have 2 certificates right now. We have LEED Zero, which is mainly for buildings by United States. And this one here, it is the same name, but has different contents because it's applicable for buildings, for communities, and for industry. And of course, we have one case, but unfortunately not completed yet, about net zero in industry. And then at the end, we'll have acknowledgement and the way forward and concluding remarks. This is our plan for this today and tomorrow, and inshallah, in the third day. Thank you very much.